elements. But our struggle since the 60s, you will see nothing but betrayal by the petty elements in our society. The African bourgeoisie is the most corrupt bourgeoisie in the world. In Africa, they seek luxury in the midst of mass suffering.
For what is what, I ain't tryna run game up. I ain't tryna show skills to the brothers made up. Emotions got me treated like one time, like a fade up. I wanna talk all that morning, but I ain't got my weight up. Now I see life like not drinking off his life. The insight that I acquire from the skills on my side. The street life, we glorify is the main life. Strong, weak, and everybody live but still dies. Back in the days, I used to master the rap. She rapping fantastic, words like gymnastics. Started with some slow words like nigga is bastard. I melt mics with these words like trash, like plastic. I rather miss some days. We used to throw dice, barefoot, and now we make them do it. Buying 2 nights, taking misses on the cruise. Denying the real life. We out in clear, stuck in black. It's like 2 shots.
You must not think that they represent the people. They only represent their opportunistic self, using the people every step of the way.
What's good, African family? Welcome back to the African Wahala. Thank you for joining me on this live episode. We're going to be talking a little bit about Kemi Badenoch. She is a conservative member of a member of parliament. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to who she is. She is a British conservative party politician and a prominent figure in the United Kingdom politics. Her full name is Kemi Badenoch Olufonto. She was given birth to in England. She is a Yoruba, spent some years in Nigeria, in Lagos, then moved back to the UK at 16, but she was given birth to in England. She studied at University of Sussex. She became a member of the parliament in 2017, and then she slowly rose in her political career. She at some point became the president of the Board of Trade, and then the Minister of Equalities. Most importantly, she is currently the leader of the Conservatives, a prominent political party in the United Kingdom. So what this means is she might become the prime minister in the future of the United Kingdom. Now, this is the African Wahala. Why are we talking about the United Kingdom? The fact of the matter is we are intertwined with these people. It has always been this way. We and the European people, we have been completely intertwined. And that relationship, for the most part, is detrimental to the African people. It has always been detrimental to us, while beneficial to the European people. And it feels a little bit strange that the Europeans, having understood the historical context of our relationship, still allow African people get to top political positions in their countries, right? But it is what it is. I mean, if you can't prevent what is inevitable, then there is nothing you can do about it. So Kemi Badenoch, is highly controversial. She has some very strong political views, talking about identity politics. But most importantly, for today's conversation, we're going to be focusing on her comments as far as Nigeria is concerned. Remember, she is a Yoruba, and the Yorubas, majority of us, the Yorubas, can be found in Nigeria, but we are also spread into other countries like Benin Republic, Togo, even part of Ghana, and then obviously in the diaspora, countries like Brazil, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean islands, right? She has been highly critical of the Nigerian government, calling it extremely corrupt, insecure, and obviously that has raised lots of criticisms, backlashes, especially from the Nigerian politicians. And in my own personal opinion, it's only hypocrites that will be upset with what Kemi Badenoch says. It's only hypocrites, and a lot of these guys have successfully exposed themselves, their hypocritical stance. We're going to start off with Kashim Shettima. He is the vice president of Nigeria. He had quite a few things to say about Kemi Badenoch just because she said what she believed about the Nigerian system, which is obviously not a lie. I mean, if you come out and tell the world your experiences, which you lived through, why should anybody be upset with you, right? Let's start with the first content.
I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand what happens when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use public money as their private piggy banks, when they promise the earth and pollute not just the air but the whole political atmosphere with their failure to serve others. I saw what socialism means for millions. It's poverty and broken dreams. I came to Britain determined to make my way in a country where hard work and honest endeavour can take you anywhere.
Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party, we are proud of her in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, is originally from India. He never denigrated his nation of ancestry, nor poured venoms on India. He is entitled to her own opinion. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name, but that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria.
And now that's a big lie. We are not going to pretend. That's one thing we're not going to do today, is to pretend like Nigeria is the greatest black nation in the world. Yes, it might be the so-called country with the largest population of so-called black people in the entire world, but it's definitely not the greatest. Nothing great comes out of Nigeria. It's mostly negative news. And that's just the truth. If Kemi Badenoch says stuff like, the political figures in Nigeria turned the public funds into their private bank accounts, to their piggy banks, and they spent all that money in buying luxurious stuff in the midst of massive poverty. Did she tell a lie? Now, Kashim Shettima is one of such people that she's talking about. Kashim Shettima is a billionaire, just like every other billionaire politician is out of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, politics is the most lucrative career path in Nigeria. If you're not a politician or you're not a religious person, I feel like religion might be the second most lucrative career path, especially those that go through the pastorpreneurial pathway. I'm talking about these pastors. If you're not a politician and you're not a pastor, you probably do not belong in the upper echelon of the society. But once you can find your way to become a politician, you will become rich, because it's the easiest way to become a billionaire. All you have to do is steal public funds and you will never get into trouble. As a matter of fact, you're going to get protected by the system. And then what makes it worse is the more you can steal and cover your tracks, the better your chances of getting to a higher position to commit more crimes and further increase the poverty in the nation. So Kashim Shettima, he's obviously wrong. I'm not going to use extremely denigrating words, but he's also delusional. He says Kemi Badenoch needs to remove Kemi from her name. Kemi is not a Nigerian name. Kemi is a Yoruba name. So Kashim Shettima is just being jealous, if we're being honest here. And it's, you know, these Nigerian politicians, even Nigerian people, not just the politicians, they love clinging up to successful people. Once they find out that you're successful and maybe you have some sort of Nigerian ancestry or you originated from Nigeria, just watch out how they will all be flocking onto you on social media. Oh, he's Nigerian. Oh, we love him so much. We love her so much. Until Kemi Badenoch told them, listen, you don't have to love me. I'm not proud of what you guys are doing. You guys are a part of the problem. All you do in the political space is to steal money and make the people poor. And she told no lies. So why are people upset with her? We're going to go into the second conversation. Kemi Badenoch. She's making all these Nigerian hypocrites come out. And let's get it clear. I don't necessarily support everything about Kemi Badenoch, me personally. Okay, I don't know about what's going on in her head, but I like the fact that she's calling out the corruption in the Nigerian politics, and these politicians are coming out to cry. I like it. And in my opinion, it's only a hypocrite that will complain about what she's doing. This is another hypocritical Nigerian politician, this guy. He goes by the name Shehu Sani. He puts up a poll, an X post. Madam UK politician didn't see that of the British police. There is an Al Jazeera post here that says there is an outrage after British police officer was filmed kicking a man in the head. The armed officer filmed kicking a man prone on the ground of Manchester Airport. Shocks onlookers, threatened with tasers. So are we going to pretend like Kemi Badenoch said Nigerian police officers are the only ones that commit crime in the world? Or are we going to pretend like we are dumb and we're not aware that police officers all over the world are prone to committing some sort of crimes against the people? It happens everywhere in the world. There is no society in the entire world where their police don't have corrupt people. But if we're going to compare the ratio of corrupt police officers that brutalize Nigerian citizens to the ratio of British police officers that brutalize their citizens, is probably 5 million to 1. Yes, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but that's the truth. At the same time, for every single police brutality that the British people face from the hands of their police, trust me, 50,000 Nigerians are facing police brutality. Kemi Badenoch said the Nigerian police officers, they robbed her, she and her brother when they were kids. The police officers stole their shoes or whatever. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Use them to try and destroy us.
Do you trust the British police?
I do. But remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative. And coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. The police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "Well, I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch."
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate.
Listen, you know what really hurts these hypocritical Nigerians? It's their ego. They get upset when she says stuff like, "Oh, it is a poor country." Why are you upset? Is Nigeria not a poor country? Are we going to pretend like we are not the poverty capital of the world? You feel me? Are we not going to pretend? Are we going to continue pretending like on the entire continent of Africa, we don't have the largest number of poverty-stricken people? Even more than Congo. It's very unfortunate, but it's the truth. There is so much poverty everywhere. Like, people are struggling to eat. People are dying of hunger. Hundreds of thousands, what am I saying? Tens of millions of people are malnourished because they don't even have access to proper feeding. That is Nigeria in 2024. So when Kemi Badenoch goes on all these interviews and she says stuff like this, some people are like, "Oh, she's not patriotic." Why should she be patriotic to a system that punishes majority of its citizens? And she clearly made a statement recently. She said, I do not identify with Nigeria. I identify with my specific ethnic group, the Yorubas. And me trying to analyze from her political standpoint, being someone that is showing her loyalty to the United Kingdom, it wouldn't even make sense for her political career to be showing some sort of loyalty to another country. She's very smart to show loyalty to her ethnic group, and she's also smart not to show loyalty to Nigeria. So when she comes around and says stuff like, oh, I was robbed by the Nigerian police when I was a kid, my brother's shoes were taken by the police, and then you guys are upset with her, it just shows you're a hypocrite. It's only a hypocrite that will be upset with her. As a matter of fact, let's finish this conversation.
But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously, it should be much higher. But my experience was so positive when I was burgled, for example. The police were
blah,
there.
blah, blah. Kemi, we don't care about you being burgled, okay? If the British police came and saved you from the burglary situation, that's good. But let's talk about some hypocrisy of the fake Nigerian police, the hypocrites that are upset with Kemi Badenoch. You're upset with Kemi Badenoch for telling her truth. She spoke about being robbed by the police. Look at this story here, for example. On the verge of not killing some policemen that mounted a roadblock around 5 o'clock in the morning on the highway without enough light to indicate their presence, my car tumbled like 4 to 5 times. The Nigerian police owes me a car. Why do you set up roadblocks in a dark place in the middle of nowhere, putting road users' lives at risk? That's what the Nigerian police does. But let me show you more things about the Nigerian police. People are upset with Kemi Badenoch for saying that the Nigerian police robbed her. But the fact of the matter is, these people are hypocrites. Because we are not going to pretend like we don't know that the Nigerian police robs the citizens every single day, and it has been that way forever. Okay? We're not going to pretend like... See, Nigerians have so much ego that they would rather lie to themselves if someone from outside of Nigeria is telling them the truth about Nigeria. They only want to be the ones to share the information of how horrible the living conditions in Nigeria is. Look at this video. Let me give context to what you're watching. So these are police officers that have mounted roadblocks. I mean, you guys, if you just go do your research on the internet, there are thousands of videos of Nigerian police officers collecting bribes from road users, even from foreigners. You know, these days you have a lot of YouTube people, you know, all these YouTubers, they mount their cameras on their power bikes and they claim that they are riding around the world. They ride across West Africa, through Nigeria, all the way to the southern part of Africa. We have videos on the internet that detail how once they got into Nigeria, Nigerian police officers disgraced themselves as usual, asking them for money. Because they are foreigners, they probably won't try to rob them directly. But for the Nigerians, in this video, the police officer was telling the road user that, nah, man, you have to pay me more. You can't just give me 1,000 naira bribe. We are 4 guys, so you need to make that quadrupled. Give us 4,000 naira for 4 guys. That's the first video. Look at this other video.
Make it a go. Banka or worker. Ko ina bamanka ko baje my ko paro banka. Nami they give 100 naira.
Nami they give 100 naira. Let me tell you what that means. Am I the one you're giving 100 naira? A Nigerian police officer, hungry as hell, because that's how Nigeria is, okay? They gave a hungry man an AK-47. What do you expect he's going to do with the AK-47? You gave a hungry man an uneducated, illiterate. You gave him an AK-47. You put a police uniform on him and a badge, and you tell him, go secure other hungry people. What do you think is going to happen? Let's be logical here. He's going to rob the people, especially in a system where after robbing the people, no problem. No judiciary system is going to save them. And that's exactly what this guy is doing. He's cussing out the road user for giving him 100 naira. He's like, you're crazy. Do you think I'm so little that you're giving me just 100 naira? give me some more money.
I don't follow you. Go back. My own. Go back. See, go back. I want. Master fair. Go back. If you want anything, maybe do it. I don't allow you. If you want, what's the problem? I want funny. Can you say only traffic offense? Also what? You know where my child is. Say you know about money. About say me tomorrow. Say only over my. Oh yeah, action. Oh yeah. You know where my. I don't know about you, but man, but I don't.
I mean, look at the arrogance in the police officers. This is how they bully Nigerian people every day. It's always been this way, and it's not going to end anytime soon. The police officer is intimidating the so-called citizen, asking him for money, basically robbing these citizens. So when Kemi Badenoch goes on national TV in the United Kingdom and says, yes, the Nigerian police robbed my brother, why are people upset? I think that's hypocrisy. That's what I think, personally. The arrogance. This is what you have to deal with every single day. I'll show you another video because there is more.
Give them their money now. Guys, stop this gentleman. Give them my money. People are talking on the road here. It's talking. Give them their money. Guys, grab your back. Where bring that bag? You're not going. Eh? Guys, give back. Give them back there. Give back. How much are they earning on this project? You know me. You know me. You know me. You know me. Go me even that. You know me. You know me. You know me. You know me. You know me.
So this is our society. We have a society where the police officers that are poor, they rob the poor people because they have guns. And then you have soldiers that also sometimes rob the poor people, beating up the police officers for robbing the poor people. It's a mess. We live in a dystopia, period. And anybody that is upset at Kemi Badenoch for telling the truth, this is all what she said. She said, listen, I got robbed by the police when I was a kid. The police officers.
That's the British police.
I do. But you know, remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative. And coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. You know, the police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "Well, you know." I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch.
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so you know people.
So people are upset with this lady for saying these things. Now, let me go to the comment section quickly. My brother Stingy Blue says, shouldn't someone else be a better representative of your perspective than this anti-African? So because some Nigerian policemen robbed her brother does justify her anti-blackness, anti-Africanness. Now, let me find one of the videos where people claim she's anti-blackness. And personally, I don't really care so much about Kemi Badenoch. I'm just happy at the fact that she's able to make Nigerian hypocrites come out and cry. That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy at the fact that hypocrites like the Vice President Shetima, he came out and he was complaining about, oh, Kemi Badenoch, she's berating her country. She needs to be ashamed of herself. I'm happy because she spoke about how corrupt politicians destroyed Nigeria. And he's one of those that she was talking about in this video.
I chose this country because here I could breathe free and I could be everything that I wanted to be. I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand what happens when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use public money as their private piggy banks, when they promise the earth and pollute not just the air but the whole political atmosphere with their failure to serve others.
Now, to my brother Stingy Blue, she said the police are justified in killing a black man. I don't know where she said that. I'll be honest with you. And if she said that, that is absolutely wrong. And me personally, I don't really care about Kemi Badenoch. Me personally, she is a British politician, and that's it. But I'm happy at the fact that she is making the hypocrites from Nigeria come out and cry. They are crying. Look at Kashim Shettima.
Brazilian ancestry. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, was a migrant from South Africa.
This guy is a clown. Why is he using Elon Musk as a reference? Kashim Shettima, let me give you guys a factual information. Christmas bombing 2012. Christmas bombing by Boko Haram. Kabir Sokoto was the main culprit that was pointed out by the security operatives. Kabir Sokoto was a wanted man linked to the Christmas Day bombing in 2012. He was missing. Nobody could find him. All of a sudden, after a few months, they found Kabir Sokoto lodging in one of the properties of Kashim Shettima. Back then, Shettima was a governor of, or deputy, whatever it was, either a governor of or deputy governor of Borno State. That's what he was, a political figure. And when Kabir Sokoto was found in Shettima's property, having been hiding for a few months, there was no investigation against Shettima, because that's how the Nigerian judiciary system works. If you are a powerful politician, you are above the law. Nobody is going to sanction you. So if someone like Kashim Shettima comes out and is crying and complaining about Kemi Badenoch, I am happy about it.
He owns SpaceX and now X, formerly Twitter. I can name names. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, is worth over $30 billion. He's of Russian background. Rupert Murdoch, the chief executive of News Corp.
You know, this guy is not making any sense, right? It's not making any sense. So I have to apologize. You know, it's like a 2-minute video. I'll share this video because there is a point I need to make out of the video.
Steve Chen, the co-founder of YouTube, is originally from Taiwan. Immigrants build nations and immigrants build civilizations. One of the men in the front seat here has a tribing business in Namibia. He lived in Australia for over a decade, adding value to the Australian economy. Hence, there is a need for us to respect and cherish immigrants. Migrants are the source of life in all societies.
What's this guy saying, man?
Rishi, the former British Prime Minister, is originally from India. A very brilliant young man. He never denigrated his nation of ancestry, nor poured venoms on India. Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin.
Now, in case you didn't understand what this guy just said, because sometimes we need to translate what these guys are saying, okay? This guy said Kemi Badenoch denigrated her nation of ancestry, which is so-called Nigeria, a so-called nation of ancestry, right? But if we are being honest with ourselves, who are the real people denigrating Nigeria as a country? Is it Kemi Badenoch's words that denigrates Nigeria, or the action of these corrupt politicians, guys like Kashim Shettima? Guys like Kashim Shettima that protect Boko Haram terrorists, that steal billions in public funds, and never go to prison because they have the court system in their pockets. Who is denigrating Nigeria more, Kemi Badenoch or guys like Kashim Shettima? That's a question. My brother Stingy Blue says, so you're highlighting her for specific purpose because it helps your case against Nigeria? Yes, to an extent, that's true. That's correct. The point of the matter is, Kemi Badenoch is not denigrating Nigeria. Her words don't have a tangible effect on the lives of Nigerian people. But the actions of guys like Kashim Shettima, the hypocrites that are coming out and crying in large numbers, their actions have a direct negative impact on the lives of Nigerian people. So Kemi Badenoch did not denigrate Nigeria. Kashim Shettima and his friends did. And that's the bottom line of the video. The police officers that I shared earlier with you, they just proved her point about being robbed by the Nigerian police. They prove it. And it happens every single day. And it's going to continue happening until something is done. So that will be it for the live stream. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to come, spar, if you want us to spar to have a quick conversation about this one, no problem. I'll put the link in the comment section. We can have a quick chat for a few minutes and I'll round it up. Kemi Badenoch is not denigrating Nigeria as much as the Nigerian hypocrites that are crying and complaining about what she does. She is not denigrating Nigeria. The hypocrites are the ones denigrating Nigeria. That's the point of the live stream. She simply said the truth. She talked about how she was robbed by the police. Yes, it's the truth. The Nigerian police robs the people every single time, every single day. Yes, police all over the world are corrupt. Like this clown, the senator that put up a tweet recently talking about, oh, Kemi Badenoch, why didn't you complain when the police in Manchester was stomping on a guy on the ground, and it was recorded and shared all over social media? Why was Kemi Badenoch not pointing at that incident? Of course, no, we're not that stupid. We understand that the police all over the world can be corrupt. We understand that the police all over the world trample on people's rights. But if you're comparing the rate at which it happens in different parts of the world compared to a place like Nigeria, the difference is clear. You can't even compare. It's night. Even in America, in the United States of America, as bad as it is for Black Americans where the police trample on their rights, kill and hurt them, I promise you it's not as bad as what Nigerians face in the hands of the police in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the policemen, they simply kill people and nothing happens, period. It's not reported. If you report that situation, you might even get kidnapped for reporting it, period. Okay? In the United Kingdom, yes, the police tramples on people's rights as well, but you can't compare the ratio to how it happens in Nigeria. She's talking about the Nigerian politicians turned the public funds into their private property. She didn't lie about it. It's the truth. Now, if anybody else is upset with Kemi Badenoch for any other comments she might have made in the past that maybe makes you feel like she is, someone that jocks and jives, she and Uncle Tom, everybody has a right to their opinions. I don't necessarily agree with everything that she does. But as far as these points, pointing out the rot, the evil in the Nigerian system, I'm 100% in support of her. Hey, my brother, Stingy Blue. It is what it is, man. The Black people in Baltimore, they probably have a very, very bad their relationship with the police. But I'm telling you, man, if you see what goes down in Lagos, if you see what goes down in Osun, if you see what goes down in Akwa Ibom, as far as how police officers go to people's houses, rob them, whisk them away, kidnap old people and their family members, take them 500 kilometers. In Obi-Igbo, they sent in soldiers to go and kidnap people, took them all the way to Suleja, 700 kilometers away. Some died in the process, burnt down their entire community, and they never got justice. And those people that ended up in Suleja, they've been in prison in Suleja for 4 years without any access to a justice system. So these are the things that Nigerian people face. Yes, without a doubt, African American people have it bad with the police, but they still have a judiciary system that works. For the most part, they have a voice. They have a system that hasn't completely collapsed, as opposed to what we have in Nigeria, where the judiciary system is up for grabs for the highest bidder. If you have money, you will be good. You can buy justice in Nigeria. In America, it's not that easy. America has a lot of corrupt institutions as well, without a doubt. But you can't compare the level of corruption with the hopelessness that goes on in Nigeria. I'll give you a typical example before rounding up this live stream. New York, Chicago, New Orleans, Philly, Miami, and St. Louis. Trust me, my brother, all these cities that you mentioned, Nigerians will die to live in these places. They will die to experience the police brutality. They will call it heaven. One true emperor, peace, my brother. Salute to you, King. Kemi is making the slaves cry. Hey, bro, all I'm saying is I'm not even fully in support of Kemi because she might have some weird ideologies going on in her head. I don't know much about her. But the mere fact that she made Kashim Shettima come out and start crying and complaining, I'm happy. I support that. Kashim Shettima, we all know what he did, protecting Kabiru Sokoto. Nobody got justice in that situation. Meanwhile, Kabiru Sokoto's bomb blast activity killed people and nobody got justice. So that's just how the Nigerian system is. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate. So when we have voices like Kemi Badenoch coming out and saying stuff like this, I am going to support her. Did Jordan Neely get justice? Oh, my brother, for every American that didn't get justice, I can name 20. In fact, they don't even name the Nigerians that don't get justice. I was about to say, for every American that passed away in the hands of the police that did not get justice, that I can name 20 Nigerians that suffer the same fate in the hands of the Nigerian police. But I'm even wrong, because in Nigeria, we are not even people. We are just numbers, statistics. They don't name the people that die. Do you know how many people get killed every single day in Nigeria? Nobody knows where they are. Their family members have no idea that they were killed by the police. They simply just disappeared. None of their family members know where they ended up. They just vanished, period. Nobody knows anything about them. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of people. This has been going on forever. I mean, it's not a struggle Olympics between who has it worse between Nigerians and Black Americans. Obviously, Nigerians have it worse because Black Americans have a country with institutions that actually function. They might not be 100% efficient, but they function to a large extent. In Nigeria, you don't even have anything. You're just surviving. Everybody is his own government. Everybody is trampling on the next person to get to the top. It's a criminogenic society. If you can't partake in crime, you are not going to thrive. That is the MO of Nigeria. So we can't really compare the Nigerian system. I mean, we have a lot of injustices that have gone down in America. Breonna Taylor, we had Tamil Rice, a kid, 7-year-old kid that was shot by the police for playing with a toy gun. We understand these things happen without a doubt, but you can't compare the injustices that happen in America to Nigeria. At least these victims in America, they have names. We know their names. In Nigeria, they don't even have names. I can't even show you tons of videos. YouTube is going to ban the content immediately. If I show you videos of dead bodies all over the place, listen, just in August, it might have been August or July, the Nigerian army went into a community in Okwama, Delta State. They razed down an entire community, killed over 150 people. Do we know their names? No. We absolutely have no clue who those people are. Guess why these people were killed? Because of the ego of the soldiers. The soldiers went into the community to participate in oil bunkery. Okay? Oil bunkery, illegal harvesting and converting crude oil into petroleum products. That's basically what they went to do. Because it's such a corrupt society that even the soldiers, the military guys, they pay bribes to get posted to regions where they can make money from illegal activities. They are supposed to go there to protect the pipelines, but instead they are the ones participating in the illegal oil bunkering. So after they had a clash with the people in the community, some soldiers were killed, not by the people in the community. After investigations, it was proven that it was soldiers that killed themselves. But guess what? The soldiers went into the community, killed over 150 people, burnt down their houses, and then told the entire world, told the Nigerian media that, oh, the people killed the soldiers, so we went back to kill them. How does that make sense? Even if you're going to kill people, why are you burning down their communities? Like, they've turned us into savage animals. Like, the value of human life is nothing. So yeah, I'm happy when people like Kemi Badenoch come out and say stuff like this. It needs to be exposed. The atrocities that go down in Nigeria, the entire world needs to know about it. Even if the world knows anything about it, the world isn't going to do anything about it. But at least when Nigerians start reacting, then the people around the world will have an idea why they are reacting the way they are. Okay, I'm gonna have to round up the show now. You don't have to agree with everything she says. Exactly. I don't agree with everything she says. I definitely don't. I do not agree with... Listen, just because she might be a bootlicker, an ass kisser, she kisses the asses of Europeans, it doesn't mean that I will not agree with her when she exposes the evil going on in the Nigerian system. Sinovia Indigo, it's been a long time. It's good to see you, my sister. Sinovia, Stingy Blue. She's just a servant of white supremacy and justifies the UK mistreatment of Nigeria and other African countries, propping up the very African misleaders you complain about. Well, my brother, we might have to agree to disagree on this one, because yes, she might be someone that kisses the asses of the white supremacists. Yes, she might be doing the biddings to make the white supremacists in Europe happy, which in turn, listen, guess what? If Kemi Badenoch continues to criticize Nigeria the way she does, and this is me just giving my personal thoughts and opinion, if she continues to denigrate Nigeria the way she does, so-called denigrate, the British royalty, they will be upset with her, and they're going to try to bring her down, because Nigeria is one of their feeding bottles. Yes, I'm talking about the royalty, the queen, the king, and all those people. Nigeria being one of their feeding bottles, if she continues to talk this way about the contraption, they will find an illegal way to bring her down, because they want Nigeria to continue existing in the squalor that it is, because it benefits them. So yeah, you actually do make a point. You just made me see this from a different perspective. But that doesn't mean that I will throw this lady away. I support what she said about Nigeria. There are plenty we don't know about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stingy Blue, it's not the same. My sister Sinovia is engaging Stingy Blue. I really appreciate the conversation, and honestly, it is what it is. It's just one of those things that we needed to expose about what is going on in Nigeria. Kemi Badenoch might not be entirely perfect. And I understand, for my African American brothers and sisters, their main issue is with the white supremacy and how it crushes their ability to thrive in their society. Our main issue in Africa is our fellow Africans that collaborate with imperialists to keep us subjugated. So we have a fight to fight with our own people first, that come in the form of politicians. And then when we are successful with that fight, that battle, then we can escalate it to the next level. And I have to salute my people from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Man, I'm so proud of those guys. I love the way they completely severed the relationship with the imperialists. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to drop a video next explaining what happened, what went down in Niger Republic, as far as Orano, one of the largest mining companies, one of the largest uranium mining companies in Niger Republic, how Niger Republic cut ties with Orano. Okay, not completely, but they did a great job in seizing their assets in Mali and Burkina Faso. They brought out some audit receipts to prove that the mining companies from Canada and Australia are owing $600 million. So they arrested their top executives in those countries and made sure that those guys go and bring the money that they owe. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. I'm so proud of what they are doing. But thank you guys so much for joining me on the live stream. Peace and blessings to you guys. Peace.